wonderful, and she was saying she could make it work with Lucius and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so wonderful. It's a higher paying job at a strip club. Oh man, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing, but man, it's a way better opportunity. Um, I need to start working out more again though. It's pretty bad. Like I'm really out of shape. I just tried doing a couple chin ups. Like I was weird. Like a week or two ago, I was like, oh, I did like two or three, maybe I don't know. Man, I don't know what happened. I just tried doing a couple a while ago, and I was like, man, I could barely do two. And so I was like, shit, I really need to start working out more. So I'm thinking about like moving stuff around the room a little bit, put the table in the corner more. I'll just obviously I'm not gonna have people guest over here all the time, so I'm just gonna like try to keep everything out and away. And yeah, I'm gonna start busting out the total gym again. I think it's like it's perfect because you can really push yourself with the resistance, but it's not overbearing. But I mean, it's really like a lot of reps and stuff. But I mean, it's nice. And then when you want to push yourself doing other things, like heavier lifting, you can do that too. But the total gym, it's really good. I'd recommend it to anybody. I mean, it's just, I don't know, full range of motion exercise in a really simplistic way. Anyways, but yeah, I definitely gotta start getting into shape because I'm pretty sure the other jobs don't require. I don't know. I'm in pretty good condition. I don't know, but I'm excited. Either way, it should be interesting. It's just another part of the adventure. Something to do and make money to help me sustain while I keep trying to be involved in entertainment somehow, some way, creating content somehow, doing something with anyone, or just creating more stuff and more platforms for other people to do things on, and just I don't know, just content. You know what I mean? I'm not an editor, and I know I can say I figured out how to get all this stuff the way I got it so far this far. You know what I mean? So it's not like I can't keep like watching YouTube videos and figure out how to do all the editing and everything the right way and everything. But it's just like a headache I don't want to have to deal with. It's like hopefully I can find somebody that wants to get involved that like enjoys doing that stuff, or people can take my stuff in the shirt and cut it however they want to too. It's always like somehow it gets eventually directed back to me somehow. That'd be cool. I don't know. I'm not like trying to like look for charity and stuff. I'm trying to do this my way, the right way and stuff. But at the same time, man, some shit is just like I don't want to do really that part of it. I understand that part of it, like clipping and editing and this, and it takes forever when I could be doing other things that I could be making money doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, but I want to keep doing things, being out there and trying to do other things, like with auditioning and just whatever I can. And making these contacts is great. Just random people on the streets all the time. I mean, that's how I got this job offer. You know what I mean? That's why I think even after I get this job offer, maybe I'll get the schedule worked out. And if I have Mondays off, I'll still work Mondays over at Shakespeare's or something on the Kiltony nights. And that'll give me still an opportunity to market and stuff and work the streets and stuff and keep doing everything too at the same time, promote Shakespeare's and Kiltony and stuff. Man, I think this is actually gonna work out like in a pretty decent way. Like I don't know, like I'm not expecting miracles or nothing, but the goal is just sustainability, just to keep making enough money to maintain this, which is finally okay now. Like, oh my gosh, it took forever. Like it's been since July, but I finally got everything in here set up appropriately and accordingly. They finally fixed the door earlier today. Woke me up after like 3 hours of sleep, but it was fine. I was like, I don't know. They said they gotta replace all this, but I don't know. Blah blah blah. And he popped this thing off and on the bottom, put basically just a new sweep on it, and the sweep did it. It's like, oh my gosh, it sealed. It took up the rest of that remaining space and just sealed everything up. I looked around. I'm like, it's you have no idea how much of a relief it is to see like the door sealed. It's like, oh my gosh, amen. Now I know everything is inexcusably only my fault if it's messed up now. You know what I mean? I really think that there's nothing in here that if I were to see something, I could be like, oh, this is potentially the problem. I sealed up my own hole over here because somebody said they wouldn't do it because it's cosmetic or whatever bullshit. So I sealed a hole inside the closet. I remember doing that when I first got here, not too long into being here. And then they finally sealed the thing in the tub. They finally sealed the door. So if I have any bugs in here, it's because the door was open or closed, or it's one of these screens. Because these screens, none of these screens actually fit the window properly at all either. But I don't open the windows either. So nothing should be getting in through there unless it's just microscopic and it gets through, and I don't know, it creates bugs or something. But there's ventilation, there's vent systems and stuff they can get into, and I don't really know. I haven't really looked all into where the water heater is and all that, so there might be more spaces in there that I don't know and see. But I've seen a significant drop in the bugs that are in here. I actually think I might check my traps and just clean them out and put new traps in there and see if it makes it, see if it really has been a difference, see how little more or less I get. But I haven't seen any big monster bugs, especially since they sealed up the tub. So I'm really thinking they were coming in through the walls out the back or something, and then through the walls. And yeah. Anyways, creepy stuff I think is at a minimum now, and things are finally getting better. Things just keep going on the up and up, you know, and it's a struggle and it's tough and things are upsetting and people upset around. I just got to keep trying to be the light and trying to keep uplifting other people, and you know, not be humdrum and down. You know, just keep trying to push that love and joy. And like I said, but still always kind of pointing out the indignation and the you know, the injustices and just the horrible behaviors and that entitled and special people think people that think they're special have. So it's crazy. And there's a difference between thinking you're special and knowing you're special. And then there's the people that know they're special, but they don't hold it over people's heads. You know what I mean? Or they're just like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what I like. This is who I am. You know what I mean? Like, some people like gold and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, if that's you, that's you. If you've earned the money to fucking go do it, then go fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, why can't people see that, like, if that's your thing, it's what you want to do, that's cool too. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to be debaucherous in a slum and do this or that and whatever and just barely get by and work in a coffee shop, then do that. But you have the right to own the coffee shop, multiple coffee shops, and make money and have a nice house. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand that? Like, people don't seem to understand the beautiful opportunities we have in America. And I don't know. I'm going to take my big swings and try to get my bite of the pie and give my share back. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. I've done it once with the very little that I've had, with the credit that I had one time. And it's just like, you know what? There's more to accomplish. There's more to do. There's more goals to achieve. There's more purpose to be fulfilled. And if I can be a catalyst or a tool or a vessel to help achieve that with my hands and feet in some sort of way, and help facilitate and finance things or do things like straight out of pocket, I'll do whatever. I know I'm going to work till the day I die. I just want to be a good servant. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. I'm here to serve, no matter what I'm doing, where I'm at. Just here to serve. Let's start going through some notes. The very next one. Hold on. Yeah, well, it's kind of appropriate. I guess since I'm going to be working at a strip club soon, too. But you're lucky, ladies. You didn't lose one of the good ones. Not going gay all the way. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there's plenty of, like, older girls who are like, I'm just trying to find an older man who doesn't have kids, who's single, you know what I mean, who's like, you know what I mean, not a jerk, takes care of things, tries to be helpful, doesn't want, you know what I mean, like, I'm here, I'm available, like, nice guys exist, we finished last, and and I'm living proof of it. I'm 40 years old, and like I've said, I've had my fair shares of fucking things up myself, and I've had shitty girlfriends, and I've had great girlfriends that I screwed up. You know what I mean? And it's just like such a time as this. I had to go through everything I went through for a purpose and a reason. So as we all have, we just have to be able to be aware enough to, self-reflect and see all those things and glean and learn from them. But you're lucky, ladies. I'm not gay all the way. Like I said, I've gone celibate 9.5 years before, and I was cum see, cum saw there in like my late teens, mid teens, or late teens, like early, it was just just messed up in the head. But I guess more over time, it was like more like acceptable to like that metro term that people started throwing around. It's metro. Oh, okay. So he's kind of, totally straight, but just enjoys things being nice. And I'm like, well, that makes sense because it's like the gay men I've known in my life, who were like people that I'd known in my life, like my uncle and like my step uncle, my stepdad's brother. uh, they were conservative, like common sense, like reform guys, but they're just well kept, and clean. Like, why is it so hard to be well kept and clean? That's not gay. That's just a nice thing to do. It's just nice to try to be like that. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'll go a couple days, without a shower if I'm not doing anything, or if I'm not like sweating and nasty and stuff. But I try to shave and stay trim and this and that, and keep myself cut myself and cleaned up and brush my teeth. I just brushed my teeth a while ago. And, you know what I mean? But I keep everything clean. I keep Lucius clean. He's got to get another bath. It's every time we walk out there, his feet get dirty. But I gave him a bath recently. I'm gonna give him another one. I like to keep the floors clean. I like to keep the dishes clean. I wipe down I just wipe down the microwave. I wipe down the stove all the time. You know what I mean? It's just making sure that everything's just not going to build up any sort of bacterial, you know what I mean, like cesspools anywhere. Like, I clean everything. I gotta get under the bed again. I cleaned under the bed pretty recently, but I'm probably gonna do it again when I change these insect light thingies. But the next note's more about like my childhood and whatnot a little bit. Demons, brain damage, turmoil in the toy box. Everything is demonic. Man, what a crazy childhood when you go back and forth between, I don't know, there's so many things, and like I didn't quite understand the difference between fantasy and reality, and I was afraid of the dark for so long, and just rubber masks would scare me, and like the simplest things on like Nickelodeon would scare me. But then after a while, I liked Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff like that, but I would still like hide behind like fucking stuff, and like late night trying to watch movies and still hiding, like as a teenager, like a young teenager, still like hiding, like, oh man, I don't really want to, is there something behind me, you know what I mean, like, but and then becoming an atheist when you're 11 and stuff, but like still thinking like there's a spiritual world, and so you're kind of agnostic. I mean, this demonic stuff is fun and cool, and all these gods and goddesses, and it's really cool, and and like, it's just so weird. But then like as a kid, just as a kid, going to church and stuff, and then like everything you've come to find, because I went back and forth, mom being like devout, wanting to go to church and stuff, and then like not really caring for it, back and forth, but like all of a sudden, I go from having my He-Man and my G.I. Joes and all this stuff, and my Ghostbusters toys and stuff, like, oh, let's sell them at a yard sale, and this and that, and like, but even when I still had some of that stuff, she started like giving me these, not giving me, like I'd see these books, or like, like the children's church people would suggest to me and whatnot, and to us and whatnot. But Turmoil in the Toy Box, I don't know if anybody remember that stuff. And then there's videos and stuff about other that spoke on the same things. But like basically everything is evil. Fucking Care Bears are evil, He-Man's evil. I'm like, everything's fucking evil, and da. But it's so weird because like when you get older, you start to realize you're like, man, a lot of stuff is kind of just like a distraction, which is part of the Great Deception, which essentially is kind of like, it's not really demonic in a sense, but it's like it's a tool that the demons could use, but we just try to do it in fun, whimsical ways and to tell stories. But demons can influence anything if they want to, and people who are influencing things, like there's always like a undertone of some sort of something, as long as there's an opening for something to creep in to disturb things. But I mean, if you don't allow it, or if it doesn't find interest in it, you'll be left alone. The key is just to have Jesus. You got Jesus, you just won't be depressed and miserable and stuff all the time and stuff. You always have hope and light, things turn to and whatnot. I just, gotta stop. And I be anxious for nothing. I know. You know what I mean? It's really hard one for me. You know what I mean? I guess that's one of my biggest, sins to deal with. It's just like, I really don't like stressing over stuff, but like, I just want to make sure things are right. And I think that's just part of my trauma too, as a child. You nothing's ever good enough. You try to do everything right, and you fall into a depression and stuff. But now it's just like I'm just trying to harness it in the right positive way. You know what I mean? Just stay persistent, consistent, and motivated, and patient and kind. Self-control is the only control we have, and yeah, I think that's an idea. I might even start doing that now. We're 16 minutes in. I turned the humidifier off a second here. I moved the table. I do need to start busting this thing out though. But yeah, the next note, like I said, I've actually thought about this way before I wrote this note. I've done this bit. This is the bit I ruined on Kill Tony. But the next note says, why can't anyone remember dicks, pussies, and assholes? Trump is our dick. And the next one is just, it's very simple. And I know a lot of people have this gripe, and I don't know if anyone's talked about it on stage or not or anywhere, or broadcasted anywhere, but why did we stop calling buds buds? That's what they are. Buds are buds. Why did we stop calling them buds? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. We all started calling it flower all of a sudden. Why are we calling buds flower now? You know what I mean? Like, it's so silly. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Look, it's the flower of the plant. It's what, so like, no, so it would be the fruit. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be, I mean, if they wanted to get all technical, you know what I'm saying? It would be the fruit that it bears is the buds. You know what I mean? The fruit that the marijuana plant bears is the buds. It's not the flower. It's not a fucking flower. Oh my gosh. How long has it been called a weed? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where people come up with these fucking words and terms from. It's so silly. I get it though. I get it because that's what blooms forth. That's what blooms out of it. You know what I mean? Why did that go all the way down there like that? Let's come down, buddy. Alright. Tell us everything or admit you don't know. Yep. Tell us everything or admit you don't know. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. You know, like from politicians to Freemasons to this and that. And it's like, stop fucking. What the point? Fucking point is the point of secrets now. Like, there's no fucking point of secrets. Everyone's gonna find your shit out. Everything that happens in the darkness comes out in the light. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Freemason story and experiences, paranoia, anxiety playground. I feel like I had a different thought process behind that, an idea and a story behind that, but now I'm thinking maybe it was just a band name idea, paranoia, anxiety playground. But I mean, I think that's just like what a lot of the stuff creates. That might have been the thought. That's a lot of the stuff just creates a paranoia, anxiety playground. It's like all this crazy stuff. The more you learn about everything, it's like, oh my God, there's that, there's this, there's that. And then it's like I always have to come back to, I got Jesus. It's okay. We all need Jesus all the time, every day. But I don't have time to tell it in this one because we're 20 minutes in now. But I'll tell you about how that Freemason story in my life happened and whatnot, and how, People try to say that, oh, there isn't people that do stuff on the inside and stuff for people and this and that. It's like, dude, I'm a low level fucking nobody. And if you know the right people, yes, you can straight up get away with crimes or accidents or this or that, like straight up record charging things can just disappear. I'll tell that story another time. All right. Thanks for your time and patience with me. God bless. Take care. Till next time. And no names. I won't tell any names, but it's a crazy story. You'll be like, whoa, what the fuck? But all right. Take care. Till next time. Bye bye. Thanks for your time and patience with me. Gotta end on that note.